Hey, Nate, can I come check out that sarcophagus you got over at your place?
Today's probably not a good day. I got a buyer coming to look at it, actually.
I'm actually the buyer. I've got loads of money. Loads.
I don't know if that's true. Why are you wanting to look at it so bad right now?
Just, you know, own curiosity. Thinking about becoming a historian,
You're trying to use it as a urinal again, aren't you?
maybe. Welcome into the Bro Force Squad podcast. I'm Brian, he's Nate, and we are here to review Moon Knight, episode 3. We grade everything on our 5 criteria, or in this case, 4. Acting cast, story plot, best scene, and thoughts or theories, questions moving forward. Let's jump right in. Nate, what do we think of the acting in this episode 3 of Moon Knight, titled The Friendly Type?
I really enjoy the acting in this. We'll get to story and plot. Wow, Banner's already making faces at me. We'll get some story and plot issues or thoughts later on. I still really do like the acting. I think Oscar Isaac is doing a great job, kind of shifting back and forth. We got to see even a little more with him impersonating Konshu, basically, or Konshu like talking through him. And I thought the little subtleties of that were great when the voice would come in and he'd have to like come back to himself or come back to Mark.
I don't know. It kind of felt like he was just like trying to have a conversation while about to orgasm the entire time he was being Konshu. I didn't like that.
Maybe those were the directions
I don't know
that he was
what I'm
given.
doing. I don't know. Wasn't a big fan of that. And in that scene too, I did not think Ethan Hawke was at his best.
We are all over the place then.
Yeah, it was that scene specifically. I did not think either one of them were up to the level or the expectation that they set in the first 2 episodes.
I mean, Ethan Hawke's portrayal in that scene was probably a little more subdued, but I think that's what it needed to be at that point because he's trying to cover up what he's actually doing. He's trying to deceive the gods, and he's right in front of them. I don't think he was like boisterous like he has been in other scenes, just because that's not his position at that time. He's outnumbered. He can't do that.
He read the room.
Yeah, so I thought he played it well, and he acted subtle like he needed to.
And maybe it was just because Oscar Isaac was taking me so far out of it with his like resisting Konshu possessing him or whatever that was.
Isn't that what you would do or what you would think a normal person would do, having this new sensation?
I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of new sensations recently, so I can't really relate.
Once you get to a certain age, you're like, oh, this is all the same.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm going to bitch and complain about it. I didn't like it. No idea how you could have done it better.
That's fine.
Yeah, I did not like it. I think part of it too was the storyline. Which, do you have anything else on acting cast? Wasn't a whole lot.
I'll talk about May Kalamaewe, or however you pronounce her name. Don't know who played Layla. I really like what she was doing. She kind of took like a confident lead.
Yeah,
and I think she played that really well. Got some more character development on her to a certain extent, as much character development as this series is allowing.
Yeah, I loved that first scene.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get a little background there on her. But yeah, she seems like a certified badass, and she's filling into that role slowly in a nice way.
Yeah, she has been exactly what they've needed her to be at each step of this show.
Yeah.
And she was asked. I think she was asked to shine a little bit more in this episode, and she stepped up to the plate. I'm excited to see where she is moving forward. I was a little on the fence about her when we first met her, but I'm coming around now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. But that's all I got for acting and cast, so we can move on.
Again, that's pretty much all that it was. Like last week. So let's move on to story and plot. Again, this episode is titled The Friendly Type, and we have an IMDb synopsis of, with Mark in the forefront and Harrow ahead, Mark and Layla navigate Cairo for intel. That's literally all I know about what this episode was.
Yeah.
I don't, at this point, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm kind of starting to lean towards it's not a great thing.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to keep going with it. I mean, I'm going to finish this one out. But there's only so much shrouded in mysteryness that I can take before I'm like, I got to know what the fuck is going on. And off pod, we were texting about this, and I was like, I'm kind of aware of what's happening in the series, or just this episode specifically, but I don't have any idea why things are happening. And they like are really avoiding the question, like giving any background. And I understand it's a limited series and you only have a certain amount of time, but you've got to give me something. Like, I thought we were going to have maybe some flashbacks from Mark Spector, getting like a little fill in, but I mean, we got nothing now.
I have so many fucking questions, and honestly, a lot of the questions I have probably don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I need to know them.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah. I think that this episode really exposed the show for its limitedness. I think this should have been more than 6 episodes at this point in time. Maybe I'll be eating my words next week, but at this point in time, there are way too many questions for being halfway through the season.
Yeah, it's exposing a lot of things. And to your point, like we mentioned this the past 2 pods, like how complex of a character Moon Knight is, and how complex this series could be.
And we haven't gotten enough of him in the Moon Knight suit.
No, it's very intermittent.
I want a lot more of it. Now, maybe it's expensive to do or something, or I don't know what it is, but
they're fucking Marvel. They have money.
I know it's a very, very valid point, but there's got to be some reason that they're showing it to us very sparingly. Every time that he's in the fucking suit, he's fighting. It's fucking awesome, and I love it. I just want more of it.
Yeah, and there's like little things like Mark was fighting, he blacks out. I guess Steven comes back. But then Steven is like, no, that wasn't me. And that's kind of like, that goes by the wayside. It's not really explained. It feels like it's Steven, because then when he's in the cab, he's like, you told me to take you to the airport. Yeah, Steven wants to get the fuck out of there.
I think it might have been Konshu.
See, that's what I was kind of thinking too. But then it does happen mid-fight later while he has the guy's hand on his throat. And so it is Steven at that point. So
I don't
that's
know.
kind of a mystery I'm okay with. It's not that big of a deal. There were like a few subtle things.
Do we know why Mark and Layla are after Amit's tomb? Is it literally just to stop Harrow?
To stop Harrow from getting Amit out, because it's going to kill a ton of people, apparently, somehow.
Okay, but I thought they were searching for Amit before they knew who Harrow was. Is that not the case?
Yeah, because Konshu wants to find Amit's tomb as well.
Why does Konshu want to find Amit's tomb?
That I'm not sure if it's been explained. If it has, I missed it. But I feel like that's another thing that's kind of been shrouded in mystery. I don't know exactly why Konshu wants it or wants Amit's tomb.
I will say one thing that I did really enjoy about the story after all this negativeness. I liked that we brought the other gods in, and we got to see the other gods living through their avatars, and like this is a slow Tuesday for them, where you can see Mark has that struggle, or Steven or Mark or whoever has that struggle every time that they're talking to Konshu, and these other people are just like, yeah, no, like, again, it's whatever, you know.
That was a nice that was a nice aspect of this episode coming in. Some guy just came out off the stock market in his 3-piece suit, and he just had to come. Okay, got it. Sorry, got to go to the pyramids of Giza real quick and take care of this shit.
Yeah, that was I don't know how much more we will get of them, but I hope we get more of the gods.
There might be that one.
I feel like that's
Mark
something
aside.
they can. Yeah, bring them back. Maybe 5th episode.
Yeah, that could happen.
Something like that.
I could see that. But there's another few things like with the story and plot and just like the show in general, it's starting to get more violent, but it's getting violent, but there's some things taken away, and it's making it tough to keep up with how real it is. Like they're showing like close-ups of people getting stabbed and all this, but no blood, which I understand what they're, I mean, it's Marvel, it's a Disney, it's coming out from Disney. So they're not going to have a ton of blood and gore, but you can't go like over the top. Moon Knight getting impaled with like 6 spears all the way through his body, and like, oh, there's just no blood, or Layla like literally stabbing a guy in the chest and nothing.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Like,
yeah, and I'm not saying.
This is where I'm at with all of this. I know I haven't really talked much about the actual story or what's going on with it, and that's because I don't fucking know. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm enjoying the episodes, but they're not stringing together. This is like, I feel like I missed an episode.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing. Like you, I'm gonna stick through it. I'm gonna keep going, but they need to get their shit together. This is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, there's like I said, there's a few continuity things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but all the visuals and everything, great.
Fabulous.
Keeping up, like you said, the fighting scenes are awesome.
And other than the one scene I mentioned earlier, I think the acting has been great too. And it's checking all the boxes except for, do I know what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. No. And Horns off pod, he can't be with us tonight, but he made a good point too. I can't remember the exact references he had, but through 3 episodes, there have been like 2 tie-ins to the Marvel universe, and we don't need a ton of fan service or anything like that, but we do need a few warm and fuzzies to tie us back, to make us remember.
They got to keep us grounded.
This is a Marvel entity. You know what universe you're in. And I know a lot of people are probably liking this because it's completely out of left field for Marvel. It doesn't feel like Marvel anything, which is fine.
You don't have to connect it. Yeah, you don't have to connect it, but you have to make sure people understand. Like, one of these I completely missed, I guess, and I got it pulled up here. I guess one is there was a book about Asgard in Steven's apartment on the shelf. Who the fuck? I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to catch
background
that
thing.
Yeah. And the second one is somebody says the word Madripoor in episode 3, which I did catch that. So we know where we're dealing. We know that they have been to Madripoor. So maybe, okay. Let's go to best scene real quick, because I'm gonna lose this thought if we don't. Right. My best scene was that fight scene where Moon Knight basically covers up Layla with her or with his cape, and they're shooting all the bullets at him, and then he slings the cape, and the bullets go flying out of it and hit the guy's back in the face.
Yeah,
that shit was fucking cool. That a lot of fight scenes. I mean, we've been watching these superhero movies for fucking 20 years now. I mean, we've got how many since 2008, so 15 years of just the MCU, not including all these other ones, and that's something I've never seen before.
Yeah,
and I think that's give them credit for that.
Pretty genius on their part.
Again, the visuals were great. I understood why we were there, and despite not really understanding what's going on, them having like 16 spears through Moon Knight, that was kind of a cool just look. Like, I kind of want a poster of that. Is that fucked up?
No, it's just that specifically has me questioning things I don't know.
Questioning things like our friendship?
No, him with 8 spears in him, and
they mentioned something. Konshu mentioned something earlier in the episode about you would be nothing without my regenerative armor or something like that. Yeah, or the healing power of his armor. So I'm just assuming that he gets stabbed through the hand, and his body just heals around the sword until it comes out.
Yeah, I guess so.
That took a lot less convincing than I thought it was going to.
Yeah,
What's your best scene?
My best scene is the scene you hate. It's the Pyramid of Giza scene, and like the whole thing. Like, okay, cool. You don't like the acting or anything, but we got a new way that Mark is being used as an avatar so Konshu can speak through him. So even if you don't like the acting, you don't like how he portrayed it.
Love the concept. The
scene, the concept, a new way for Oscar Isaac to act in the same body. So he's gotten a lot of different ways to do that so far. And this isn't in that scene, but interacting with mirrors while he's fighting and seeing the other guy, cool stuff. But that scene in general, and like you touched on a second ago, the other avatars coming in and they're just dressed in their regular clothing, like in the middle of this pyramid, like way out of place. But they're just acting like it's another day at the office, coming in and getting all the people interacting at once, and then bringing in Harrow, who's obviously trying to undermine all of them and trying to be devious. I thought it was a pretty cool dynamic in there with all the other avatars and them working off each other.
I loved the set as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that how they portrayed the Pyramid of Giza, because I've never thought about what the inside of a pyramid looks like, and I probably never will. So I like that that's what they left me with.
Yeah, it kind of had me thinking. I was like, is this how they think it just always looks, because it's like lit up with the flames and everything in there? And I was just,
or did they just like have their cleaning lady come before they
they had
party?
Yeah, they had her come in and say, hey, make sure and light all the torches. We're going to have a quick meeting in here. Yeah. Just make sure everything is clean and tidy.
We know Brenda, so just make sure you get all the shit stains out of the toilet. We don't need another incident of 92.
It was a bad look whenever the guests came over and there was a brown streak down the back of the toilet. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole aesthetic and interactions between the new characters and existing characters was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just think that Konshu talking through Oscar Isaac, how that came across, I did not enjoy, and I think that really brought kind of everybody and everything else in that scene down for me. And
if that's your takeaway from it, I can see how that would happen.
But if I can see if you're just reading the script, or if you can look past that, yes, it was a great scene. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, if you look at all the content of the actual dialogue, really good stuff.
Yeah,
really good stuff. All right, questions and theories moving forward. My first question, I have no fucking, like, what are we doing? What's going on here? Like, what?
That's your question.
That's one of my questions.
I think the big overhanging question out there right now is why Spectre is trying to hold on. Sorry, are you Snapchat videoing me?
God damn it, am I? Oh fuck. Hey Horns, my bad. It's a bad.
I was like, what is going on?
It's a bad day. God damn it. I don't even know how I did that.
All right, Horns, you're gonna have to edit that part out.
Yeah, sorry.
But I was too thrown off. I was like, is Brian doing this again? I was like trying to look at you, like, are you gonna smile at me? Or are you
I don't know how that happens.
Why'd you even pull Snapchat out? What are you doing?
I didn't mean to. I was pulling my notes back up on my phone.
God damn it.
All right,
okay,
let's start up.
I'll try to pick
theories and questions.
Okay, fine.
All right. So theories and questions. What do you got, Nate? You know what? I'll tell you my first question. My first question is, what the fuck are we doing here? What's going on?
Just an overall,
overall. I think I like it. I think I'm enjoying myself, but we're halfway through the season. I don't know what's going on. So
yeah, I think one of the biggest questions I still have out there is why Mark is Khonshu's avatar. And I think we talked about this in the first episode. I think he maybe have been close to death. He made a deal with Konshu when he was in the desert. just to survive and move on. And now he's basically at his
he's a slave.
Yeah, he's a slave to do whatever he wants. Which, for the time being, it's finding Amit's tomb. That may be all of it. Like, once you find the Amit's tomb, I'll release you. You can go about your way. And then also, like, the whole Steven thing. I'm assuming still that that's just like an alternate personality he came up with himself, just to cope with other shit that was going on in his life. They did touch on it a bit because him and Layla were talking. He's like, I had it under control for a while. But yeah, that whole dynamic. Like, there's just a ton of shit out there that I need a little more background on.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the biggest question is I need an explanation of how Konshu and Mark Spector got together. How did that relationship start?
Yeah,
I'm assuming there was some sort of, or we know there was some sort of deal made between the two of them. So, what was that deal, and what were the terms and conditions of that? That's a big question that they need to answer quickly.
Yeah, ultimately, the one theory I do have that may come to fruition later is that Konshu and Haro are still actually working together. They just need Mark for some certain aspect of. They thought he may be the best person to get them to the tomb of Amit or whatever. But at the end, I can see that being a little bit of a twist. And maybe he was faking not being able to see Konshu the whole time.
Yeah, I that's a possibility. Or maybe when he was when Hera was Khonshu's avatar, they discussed and figured out that we're never going to be able to free Amit individually. So Khonshu went on to get another avatar, and this is a whole devious plan that they came up with. And I'll one-up you here. There is actually another mastermind behind the plan. You want to know who that mastermind is?
Layla.
No. Even better. Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Val. Or Sharon Carter, Agent 13, Power Broker.
It's just so...
Madripoor was mentioned, and so maybe that's a bigger hint than what we originally thought.
It would be cool for one of those to be true. But just like we were talking about a second ago, it seems like so far detached from the Marvel Universe, it's tough to realistically think about theories like that and be like, oh yeah, that could tie in. And like, we throw shit against the wall that's way far-fetched. But like, especially in this series, it's super tough, like wrapping my head around being like, oh yeah, they could bring in Madam Hydra. Because I'm just like, we're so far removed. I mean, absolutely could. And I think there will be a tie-in at the end, but I don't think it'll be anything as well known as what we know in the Marvel Universe already.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
But we know I'm good at throwing stuff up, and
might as well. We're here.
Happen. Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't make. That's 100% right, Brian. Good job. I didn't say that right. Anyway,
I'll pat you on your back when I see you next.
Okay.
The last thing I have.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a theory, and it's not even a theory for the rest of this series, but it's a small thing that I think could be a tie-in, maybe a little Easter egg later on down the road. But whenever Konshu and Mark Spector actually get the world spinning and they have to reverse the sky to get back, I feel like that could be a nice little Easter egg later on in the Marvel Universe, like someone mentioning, oh, were you there when this happened, or did you see this? I don't know if it'll have any bigger effects as far as like another plot or storyline moving it forward. Like, I don't know if it will affect anything that happened on Earth. I hope it does, because that would be a cool tie-in later down the road. But I think at the very least, it could be something down the road that people will mention in Marvel movies and Marvel series. Similar,
just passing.
Not as big of a scale, obviously, by any means, but like the blip. It's showing up in different instances now. I mean, that was a huge worldwide effect. But kind of like that, you're going to see it sprinkled in and small mentions of things and things like that.
Little news headline maybe in the background.
Yeah, and I thought they kind of maybe previewed it a little bit because they're out in the desert, they're doing the spinny thing, but then they actually show back like in Cairo, people looking up and the general public noticing it. So
yeah,
it's a worldwide thing. Everyone can see it. It's not some magic that's hidden behind the scenes.
Yeah. Another really good visual scene as well.
Yeah.
I
really
thought that was really, really cool how they did that. I don't really have a whole lot else because they haven't given me a whole lot. Do we think there is another party involved that is, whether it's another personality or somebody else trying to use Mark Spector as a avatar, do we think there's another party involved in his brain? So we've got Konshu, we have Mark, we have Steven. Is there a fourth being that is being suppressed?
I think that's a real possibility after this episode. With Mark blacking out, Steven not taking credit for it, I think the low-hanging fruit is saying is Konshu. But I think there could be another
is that a entity, misdirect?
Another personality. It could be like, just a red herring, like, oh, Konshu is definitely doing this. But it could be another personality coming out that we don't know about that could be introduced. But they've already made these episodes. I was about to say word to the wise, stop introducing new characters and give me a little background on the characters we know, but it's already made. So
no, they're going to take it into consideration. They're going into Monday morning's meeting, and
they're going to rewrite these last 3 episodes. They're going to push it back a month and then release them.
This is like intermission when you go to a play.
Yeah.
I don't got anything else. What about you, Nate?
No, and it's just for a couple reasons. I feel like beating a dead horse at this point, but it's just tough to come up with really any theories on this. Just because it's tough, like I said, to tie it back to the Marvel universe because it's so far detached so far, and then we just don't know enough about like the connections between the characters, their background, or anything to tie in any future theories.
This is the first time in a Marvel show that I'm starting to get a little worried halfway through the season.
Yeah.
WandaVision, terrible beginning, in my opinion. Really strong in the middle. So halfway through the season, I was pumped. We're in this. This is great. Falcon and Winter Soldier was just a steady. You knew what it was going to be beginning to end. Loki, episode 3 was one of the best episodes.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got? Hawkeye. I was down to clown on that thing all day.
Super impressed. I was had low expectations going into that one.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And so now this one we're going in and like I don't know. I'm a little worried. I don't know enough about anything. And maybe that is because we've never met this character before anywhere.
And maybe at the end of the day I just need to put my reservations aside and just be happy and enjoy the ride because like I said, I enjoy the visuals. I can basically understand what's going on or what they're doing. I just don't know like the reasons behind it, and I want to know, and that's bugging me.
Yeah. I do have full faith in Kevin Feige. Even the things that aren't good for MCU standards are still pretty fucking good movies. Yeah. So I have faith. I don't know. We'll see what the second half of this show has to offer, and we'll be here every step of the way. You guys can find us on Twitter at Bro4Squad. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. We're on them all. Just Google Bro4Squad. That's 3 words, Bro4Squad. And go to our website, www.bro4squad.com. Until next time, I'm the Mad Scientist. He's the American Hero. We'll catch you later.
Later, nerds.
Later, guys. Well, that was a fucking